Today we are going to be talking about some neighborhood gossip. So, I live in an HOA and we have a Facebook page, and it gets intense. There is a lot of disgruntled people, and so we're going to dive into that a little bit. There's been a lot of gossip lately. First, though, I want to apologize for not getting a video up last week. It was a really crazy week. So, we found out that my dad had a detached retina in his eye. So, if you don't know what that is, it's when, it's pretty self-explanatory, but the retina detaches from the back of the eye, and it causes you to not be able to see in that spot. So he had this big dark spot and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And so he went in and they had to do surgery. And what they do is he had some holes too, so they repaired those, and then they have to put a gas bubble behind your eye to try to keep everything in place. So, sorry, I'm talking really fast. I need to calm down. I'm trying to get this done before my kids wake up, because we're going out of town tonight, so I'm gonna slow down. Anyway, so when you get this done, you have to either keep your head hanging down like this, or you have to be laying on your stomach with your face down so that this gas bubble stays in place. And my dad is a farmer and does not like to stay down. And my stepmom was going to a horse show the weekend that he got his surgery. So I had to go pick him up from the hospital and take him home and try to get him to stay down for the next few days, which was quite the task. Excuse me. Anyway, it was interesting, and I did the best I could to keep him down, but he does not like to stay down, and it was quite difficult. So that happened, and then I got a sinus infection, and so I was down and out for the rest of the week, but now I'm back, and now we're going to talk about some neighborhood gossip. So this first person I'm going to talk about, we're going to call him Mr. Wilson. That is obviously not his name. We'll be protecting everyone with fake names. But I'm going to look over to make sure I get his words right on what he has said. So he's only lived here for I think a month now, and he has been blowing up the Facebook page that we have for our HOA, or for our neighborhood. So this was the first message he sent was, we have a neighborhood pool, and so he was asking, he's like, this is our first year, when is it going to be open? Which is totally fine. I'm like, okay, cool, well, let's let you know. This was the message that he sent next. This was his next post. I'm going to read it, so I'm going to look over here for a minute. If you walk your dog in the neighborhood and leave your dog's crap in other people's yard, you have no business owning a dog, in my opinion. You probably don't return your grocery cart either. Lazy, lazy, lazy. If I figure out who's doing it, I will be reviewing my camera footage. I will return it to your porch, losers. This is nothing short of BS. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he's like, someone said more like DS instead of BS. And he goes, I was going to add that at the end of my post, but I figured someone second post, which I get it. It is very, very annoying when people walk their dogs and don't pick up, excuse me, don't pick up their poop. But I get, like, sometimes stuff happens, and I think you can say it in a nicer way, maybe. Like, hey, please make sure you're picking up your dog poop. Also, we have a walking trail behind our neighborhood, so a lot of people that walk their dogs around here are not necessarily in our neighborhood, and there's nothing you can do about that. But I told my kids if they walk our dog to take a poop bag with them, or Mr. Wilson may be coming for us. So that was one of his first interactions. Hold on, let me go down and find some of the other. There's a few people that agree with him. Okay, someone said, I couldn't agree more. Send it back with a bill. These people are funny. Another one said that they've had 2 piles in their yard while cutting the grass, and they think maybe a dog is getting out and running loose, which that does happen. There are 2 families in our neighborhood that are notorious for their dogs getting out and just running around the neighborhood. So excuse me, I cannot stop yawning this morning. But anyway, there are some dogs that are notorious for just running around and going to the bathroom. So I'm sure Mr. Wilson is going to provide us with a lot of stuff to talk about in the coming years. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my thing to find the other one. Well, actually, I'll tell you this one first. So we have a really cute family in our neighborhood, and they have a set of twins, and then they have 2 other little kids, and they're so cute. They are just the most darling family, super sweet, super nice, like just great people. And out in front of their house, they have like this big roller coaster, like ride-on toy, and they keep it out like in front of their house, but over like I guess on the side of their house. They keep it out there pretty much all the time because that's like they pull it out and let the kids ride on it onto the sidewalk. And like it's not hurting anyone, it's just sitting there. Well, a few months ago, she posted and said that someone had come and knocked on her door and said that they were there to buy the roller coaster ride-on toy. And she was like, what? Like, it's not for sale. And they're like, oh, it was posted on Facebook Marketplace. And your address, they gave me your address and like said it was for sale and to come pick it up. So come to find out, the lady's like, I'm sorry, it's not for sale. I don't know what's going on. So she looks it up. Sure enough, one of her neighbors, sorry, my computer fan isn't turning on. Hopefully you can't hear it. One of her neighbors, we'll call her Weeza. Weeza is an older lady, a little bit cranky, and she had snuck over. She doesn't like it out on the sidewalk, which they only put it out when they use it, and then they put it away when they're done. It's not a big deal. I've seen him do it a million times. Well, Weeza didn't like this, so she snuck over and took a picture of this thing and put it on Facebook Marketplace, and then neighbors was like, this happened, like, we don't appreciate it. And someone was like, oh my gosh, like, can we figure out who did this? She's like, oh, we know who did it. So yeah, it was our dear friend Weeza, who was sick of the kids playing out in front of their house. She lives close, but I was pretty shocked. That one was wild. I'm like, who like dares do that? Especially giving someone their address. Anyways, that one was pretty crazy. So another thing is, so part of the HOA is they send around a company that checks everyone's lawns, and if there's something wrong with it, they'll send you a letter and you're supposed to fix it, or else you eventually will get fined. And it's annoying. I don't like it, but it like works out because we get the pool and don't have to pay a lot in HOA fees, so I'm like, whatever. And it does like help keep the neighborhood looking nice, but they are a little bit nitpicky, I will say. Like, people will always post like, I got this, I got cited for this, and like, it does not look bad. But we have a friend that's on like our HOA board, and he's really good about like, if the company has done that, he's like, tell me and I'll tell them not to fine you. Like, their job is just to go look for whatever. They take a picture and then send you the thing. But like, when we moved in, our yard was like almost completely dead. The guy before us did not take care of it. And one second. Anyway, so it was very patchy. It needed dirt to be leveled out, and he had ripped out the grass in like our parking strip and then never filled it. Like, there's a city thing where if you rip out the grass and put in like rocks or something, you get money. Like, they'll give you the money for taking out the grass so that you're conserving water, because we're in a drought. So he ripped it out, took the money, and then never used the money to replace it. So when we moved in, we had to, luckily my dad had a bunch of like really nice rock that they had dug up at a job site, and so we were able to put gravel out there and it looks good. But anyways, they were very good about, like, we were like, hey, we know our lawn does not look good and we are like actively trying to fix it, and we have not had any problems. Like, it's taken us, we've been in this house like 3 years, and it took 2 of those years to get our grass looking like good. Like, we brought in dirt and leveled it all out and planted seed, and like, it looks really good now. But it took 2 summers to get it here, and we have never gotten fined. Like, we told them that we're in the process and haven't had a problem. So I think a lot of these people don't understand that, like, if they talk to our friend that's on the board, he'll make sure that you don't get fined. And I think the company is just trying to like find everything so that they're doing their job. But they are very nitpicky. Like, one of our neighbors, that they just live a few houses down, and their lawn looked great. Like, it was super green, and the people took a picture and said that there was like a dry spot, and I did not see a dry spot anywhere. So sometimes, like, I don't understand what people are doing, but there's no way they were gonna like really get fined, because like, our HOA in our neighborhood make sure that doesn't happen. And okay, so someone posted and said that I'll just read it. Does anyone know when the HOA sends their explanation for fines? We have a fine from yesterday on our account with no explanation. I know usually with a fine they give 7 to 10 days required response time. And people are just saying that you can call them, and that usually it will say like fine notice and will send like why you've gotten fined. This particular yard, I know why it got fined. I mean, I don't know like the exact reason, but their yard is very weedy, so I'm sure that's why. We also have everyone, like whoever built these houses, put in the worst garage door openers. Like, there is someone every day almost being like, hey, our garage door, the spring went out. Who has a good garage door company? And finally it was our turn. The other night we went to open it and it would not open. We were like, great, what are we gonna do? We're going out of town and someone's coming to feed our dog. It needs to be able to get through our garage. So luckily we went onto our HOA page and like looked through what other people had posted. And there's actually a guy that lives in our neighborhood. We didn't know him before, but he does garage doors and he gave us like a super good deal. The other people were gonna charge like $600 to replace the whole thing because it's like an outdated system. But this guy's like, oh, I give a neighborhood discount and only charged us $300. So that was super nice. And he came the next day. Like, he's like, I'll come over right after work. So we only had like one day where it was out, and he came and fixed it and did a great job. So we posted on this and like told everyone how great he did, and he was super nice. We felt bad, like he came over right after work and hadn't had dinner, and we had ordered pizza, so we're like, do you want some pizza? So anyways, that was kind of nice. There was someone complaining about how many people are at the pool, but it's like during the beginning of the summer it's always packed. But if you go in the morning, it opens at 10, and I always take my kids in the morning because the teenagers aren't up yet, and like we can usually get in a few hours where like there's hardly anyone there, and then we are done by the time the teenagers get there. I'm just scrolling down to see. I know there's been other things. Let me see. Oh, this is kind of crazy. So there's a family in our neighborhood who her husband actually had COVID, and it has just wiped out all of his energy, and so now he has to be in a wheelchair. Like, he can still walk, but he just gets really winded really fast. So a lot of the time he has to be in a wheelchair, and then like he can't like teach anymore like he was teaching, and it's just crazy. I had never seen anyone that it affected like that, and it was just nuts. But it's kind of crazy to see like the different way it affected everyone. Because like when I got it, I just felt like I had a cold. So I feel like it is just a weird thing that affects everyone so differently. But I thought that was crazy. I'm just scrolling down to see if there's any other things. Hold on. Okay, so I actually have another story about Weeza. So Weeza has a small little dog that apparently has anxiety, and so I guess the other day some kids came and doorbell ditched her house, and it was at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it wasn't late, but she got on and she just let them have it. She's like, you guys need to teach your kids how to not be disrespectful and doorbell ditch people
she's like, my dog has anxiety, and when she heard the doorbell, she just barked and barked and barked, and it gives her major anxiety. I was like, come on, lady, like, and everyone, like, I get your dog, that's annoying, but like, also, people are gonna ring your doorbell. Like, your dog's gonna have to figure it out. Maybe that's not, maybe I should be more whatever, but a bunch of people were like, you can send your kids to my house and they can doorbell ditch me. Like, they're just having fun, you know? Like, our neighborhood is full of kids. Like, it's the funnest neighborhood. Everybody just like scooters around the neighborhood. We have a little neighborhood park, and the kids just have so much fun, like playing and scootering around. And so I don't care. Like, I told my friends, because my friend, one of her kids was with the group of boys that did it, and like they just rang it once and ran. So it wasn't like they kept doing it, you know. And I told her, I'm like, you can send them to my house to do it. Like, I don't mind if they do that. But I have told my kids, I'm like, the thing about that is like, if someone has a baby that's sleeping or something, so I've told my kids probably better not to do it unless it's to, like, I have a group of friends in the neighborhood. I'm like, you can do it to our few houses. That way we know we're not bugging anybody that, you know, doesn't want to be bothered. I figure that's the safer way so they can still have fun, but like, all of us are moms of the kids and none of us care if they, you know, do it for us. So that's kind of how we've handled it at our house. But Lisa she's just struggles. There's always something wrong with Lisa. But I do get it. I don't want our little dog to have anxiety. Like, I feel bad, but I think it may have been another case of like over exaggeration. Like, I'll call the cops, you know. It's like, okay, just tell the kids, like, hey, like, my dog does not like it. Can you please not do it at my house? I think a lot of things can be solved by saying things nicely. Like, you don't have to come out of the gate attacking, you know. It's like, you get more bees with honey, or flies with honey. I think it's flies. Anyway, that's just my take on things. I've just found that if you're nice, people are a lot more willing to help you out in whatever situation. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I know it's a little bit shorter, but I've got to go get ready. We are going out of town to go to my niece's wedding today, and I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. My kids are really excited because they don't remember like the last wedding that we went to, like for a close family member. They were really little, so they're like all excited to get to go and see her wedding. So it'll be fun. We're all gonna stay, like my husband's family's all gonna stay in a big VRBO and just kind of hang out, and then we'll have the wedding tomorrow and come home Friday. So I am excited. I'm excited to go, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will be back next week unless I have some